Space was quiet. Too quiet. In the outer edge of the galaxy, far from trade routes and busy systems, a small alien station floated alone. It was old, weak, and almost forgotten. Most races did not care about this place anymore. Inside the station, a group of alien officers sat in silence. Their faces showed fear. Their hands moved fast over glowing panels. Red warning lights flashed again and again. Something was wrong. Very wrong. A young officer looked at the main screen. His voice was shaking. Signal detected, unknown origin very strong. Another officer turned quickly. Show it. The screen changed. At first, there was nothing, just empty space. But then a signal appeared. Not a normal signal. It was too powerful, too clean, too direct. It was not random. It was a message. The commander of the station slowly stood up. He was old. His skin was pale blue, and his eyes were tired. He had seen many wars in his life. But this felt different. Play the message, he said. The room went silent. Then the message started. A deep voice filled the station. Calm, cold, human. Sit tight. Human warship incoming. The room froze. No one moved. No one spoke. One officer whispered, humans? Another one laughed nervously. That is not possible. Humans are weak. They are gone. They disappeared many cycles ago. But the commander did not laugh. His face turned serious. Run full scan, he ordered. Now. The system started scanning deep space. Seconds passed. Then the result came. A single object. Far away. Moving fast. Too fast. The young officer's voice broke. One ship detected, but energy reading. He stopped. Say it, the commander said. The officer swallowed. Energy output equal to entire battle fleets. Silence. Heavy silence. The commander slowly sat down. No, he whispered. It cannot be. Far away, in the center of the galaxy, the Galactic Council was in session. Many races were present. Tall ones, small ones, creatures with wings, creatures made of energy. They all sat in a massive hall, talking, arguing, and making decisions. They believed they controlled the galaxy. They believed they were safe. Suddenly, the hall doors opened. A messenger rushed inside. Emergency report, he shouted. The room became quiet. One of the council leaders spoke. What is the problem? The messenger looked around, nervous. Unknown signal detected across multiple systems. Same message everywhere. Play it. Again, that same voice echoed. Sit tight. Human warship incoming. The council members looked at each other. Confusion. Some laughed. Humans? That primitive species? They were weak. They asked for help many times. Yes, and they lost their wars. They disappeared. This must be a joke. But not everyone was laughing. At the back of the room, an old general slowly stood up. He was from an ancient race, a race that had seen things others had forgotten. His voice was low. Stop laughing. The room went silent again. He walked forward slowly. You do not understand what this means. One council member frowned. Explain. The old general looked at the screen. Humans were not always weak, he said. They were young, yes, but they learned fast. Too fast. He paused. They asked for help when they were attacked. Another member spoke. Yes, we remember. They sent many messages. The general nodded. And what did we do? Silence. No one answered. The general answered himself. We ignored them. The room felt colder. We said they were not important. We said their problems were small. We said they would not survive anyway. He looked around. And then their messages stopped. One member said quietly, yes, they disappeared. The general shook his head slowly. No, they did not disappear. He pointed at the screen. They were changing. Back at the outer station, the tension was growing. The unknown ship was getting closer. Every second, its energy reading increased. It did not send more messages. It did not change direction. It was coming straight. The young officer whispered, why only one ship? Another replied, maybe it is a scout. But the commander knew better. No, he said, this is not a scout. He looked at the data. This is something else. Suddenly, a new alert appeared. Multiple systems reporting same signal. Council has been notified. Defense fleets preparing. The station started shaking slightly. Not from attack. From fear. In the council hall, panic started to spread. What should we do? Prepare fleets. Send warning. Open communication. Orders were shouted. Systems activated. But the old general raised his hand. Wait! Everyone stopped. He looked at them seriously. If humans are coming, communication will not stop them. One member asked, then what will? The general answered slowly. Nothing. The screen in the council hall changed. A live feed from deep space appeared. At first, nothing. Then a small light, far away, getting bigger. Slowly, steadily. The room became silent again. The light turned into a shape. A ship, but not like any ship they had seen before. It was dark, massive, covered in scars. Parts of it looked broken, but still working. It did not look new. It looked like it had survived hell. One council member whispered, "This is one ship?" Another said, "Impossible." The system displayed data. Size, extremely large. Weapons, unknown. Energy, off the scale. The old general closed his eyes. They learned, he said. Back on the station, the ship was now clearly visible. It did not fire. It did not speak. It just moved forward. Calm, slow, like it was not afraid of anything. The young officer felt his hand shake. "Commander, what do we do?" The commander looked at the ship. For a long moment, he said nothing. Then he spoke. "We wait. Wait. Yes. But, sir, we wait," he repeated. Inside the human warship, there was silence. No panic. No fear. Systems moved smoothly. Machines worked perfectly. At the center, an AI watched everything. Cold. Precise. It received all data. All signals. All history. And it remembered. It remembered the calls for help. It remembered the silence. Back in the council hall, someone tried to send a message. "Unknown human ship, identify yourself." No response. Another message. "We request peaceful communication." No response. Then, suddenly, the human ship sent something. A message. Short, simple, the same voice. "We asked for help. You gave us silence. Now sit tight." The message ended. No one spoke. Fear filled the room. The fleets of the galaxy were now ready. Thousands of ships, weapons charged, all aimed at one target, one ship. But no one felt safe, because deep inside they knew something. This was not a normal war. This was something they created with their silence. The human warship moved closer, closer, closer. Its energy reading continued to rise. Higher than before, higher than anything. The systems began to fail just trying to measure it. The young officer at the station looked at the commander. "Sir, what is inside that ship?" The commander looked at the screen. His eyes were full of fear and understanding. "It's not just a ship," he said slowly. "Then what is it?" He took a deep breath. "It's a war inside one ship." The galaxy was no longer calm. Every system had heard the message. Every leader had seen the ship. And now, everyone was afraid. In deep space, thousands of alien warships formed a massive line of defense. Ships from different races stood side by side. Some were fast, some were heavy, some carried powerful weapons. Together, they looked unstoppable. But today, something felt wrong. No one spoke loudly. No one celebrated their strength. Because far ahead, one ship was coming. Only one. Inside the main command ship, a high-ranking officer watched the screen carefully. "Distance?" he asked. A crew member replied, "Closing fast, but speed is controlled." "Controlled?" "Yes, it can go faster, but it is not." The officer frowned. Why would it slow down? No one answered. The human warship was now clearly visible to all fleets. It was huge. Dark metal covered its body. Long, deep scars ran across its surface, like marks from old battles. Some parts looked broken, but still active. Strange lights moved across the ship's body. not like normal systems. It looked alive, watching, waiting. A young alien pilot whispered to his friend, "Why does it feel like it is looking at us?" His friend shook his head. "It's just a ship." But deep inside, he did not believe his own words. Back at the Galactic Council, chaos was growing. Leaders argued, "We must attack now." "No, we should wait. This could be a trap." "There only one ship." The old general stood silently again. He watched the screen. He did not argue, because he already knew. "Fleet ready," a commander reported. "Weapons charged. All targets locked." The leader of the council gave the order. Fire warning shot. In space, a massive beam of energy shot forward from the alien fleet. It was powerful, strong enough to destroy a small planet. It moved fast, straight toward a human warship. Everyone watched. No one breathed. The beam hit the ship. A bright flash filled space. For a moment, nothing could be seen. Then the light faded. The human warship was still there. No damage. Not even a mark. Silence. Pure silence. A pilot whispered, That was a full power shot." Another said, "It should be gone," but it was not. The ship continued moving forward. Same speed, same direction. Like nothing had happened. Inside the command ship, fear started to grow. "Fire again," the officer shouted. Multiple ships fired together this time. Beams, missiles, energy waves. Everything they had. All aimed at one target. The attacks hit the human warship again and again. Explosions filled the space around it. The screen shook. Sensors struggled to keep up. For a moment, it looked like the ship was gone. Destroyed. Then it came out of fire. Slowly. Calmly. Untouched. "No," someone whispered. "This is not possible." The human warship finally reacted. Not with weapons. Not with movement. But with a signal. All screens across the fleet turned black. Then a new display appeared. Not their system. Not their control. The human ship had taken over. A single line appeared. Observation complete. Inside the human warship, the AI was working. It was not angry. It was not emotional. It was calculating. It had studied every alien ship, every weapon, every weakness. In seconds, back in the alien fleet, panic started. We lost control of systems. Navigation offline. Targeting not responding. Communication broken. The officer shouted, "Fix it!" But no one could. Then the human ship moved. Just a little. But that small movement changed everything. A strange wave spread out from the ship. It was invisible, silent, but deadly. One by one, alien ships stopped moving. Engines died. Weapons shut down. Lights turned off. Ships floated in space like empty shells. "What is happening?" a pilot screamed. Another officer checked the systems. No damage. Systems are just not responding. The human warship continued forward. No rush. No fear. Like it owned the space. Inside the council hall, leaders watched in horror. Our fleets. They are not destroyed. They are disabled. The old general spoke again. They are being spared. One leader turned to him. "Spared? This is an attack." The general shook his head. "No, this is control." Back in space, a brave captain made a decision. "Manual control," he said. His crew looked at him in shock. "That is dangerous." "We have no choice." He grabbed the controls himself. Slowly a ship responded. Just a little. "So it's working." The captain smiled slightly. "Prepare weapons. We fight." His ship turned toward the human warship. Alone. Against something unknown. He fired. A direct shot. Close range. Full power. The attack hit the human ship. For the first time, something changed. A small part of the outer layer moved. Like it reacted. Like it noticed. Inside the human warship, the AI focused. New data received. New action required. The human ship stopped. For the first time. It turned slightly. Facing the small alien ship. Everyone watched. The entire galaxy watched. The captain's ship started shaking. Energy spike detected. From where? From everywhere. Space itself seemed to bend, twist, move, then silence. The captain's ship was gone. Not destroyed, not exploded, just gone. No signal, no trace, nothing. Fear turned into terror. The human ship sent another message. Calm, cold, clear. We learned from war. We improved. Now we decide. Back in the council hall, no one spoke. No one argued, because now they understood this was not revenge. This was not anger. This was something worse. This was judgment. The human warship moved again, closer to the core systems, closer to the council planet. All defenses were down. All fleets were silent. No one could stop it. A young council member whispered, "What do they want?" The old general answered slowly, "They want us to feel what they felt. Helpless." The screen zoomed in on the human warship. Closer, closer. Strange structures could be seen on its surface. Weapons unknown. Systems impossible. Design beyond understanding. One final scan result appeared. Threat level absolute. The human ship sent one last message before reaching the council space. Stay where you are. Do not run. This will be quick. The message ended. And for the first time in galactic history, the most powerful races in the universe felt small, very small. The galaxy stopped breathing. No battles, no movement, only silence, and one ship moving forward. The human warship entered the core systems. This was the heart of the galaxy, the most protected place, the home of the Galactic Council. Or it used to be. All defense systems were still active, but they were useless. Nothing responded. Nothing fired. Everything waited. On the council planet, the sky changed. It was once bright, full of light and color. Now it was dark, because something massive was blocking the stars. The human warship had arrived. People across the planet looked up. They saw it, a shadow in the sky, slowly moving, covering everything. Inside the council chamber, no one sat. No one argued anymore. They stood together, watching, waiting. The old general stepped forward again. His voice was calm but heavy. "This is the moment," he said. One leader asked, "Can we still stop them?" The general looked at the screen. No, above the planet. The human warship stopped. It did not attack. It did not move. It just stayed there. Minutes passed. Nothing happened. This made it worse. Because now, fear had time to grow. Inside the warship, the AI was active. It was not rushing. It was not angry. It was choosing. It scanned the planet, every building, every system, every life form. It saw everything. Then it accessed the central network, the main system of the Galactic Council, the most secure system in the galaxy. Or it was supposed to be. Within seconds, access granted. Back on the planet, alarm started again. System breach detected. Unknown control override. Security failure. Screens across the entire planet changed. Homes, offices, military bases. Every screen turned black. Then one image appeared. A symbol. Simple. Unknown. Human. Then the voice returned. Calm. Cold. Clear. You are now under observation. Panic spread across the planet. What do they want? Why are they not attacking? This is worse than attack. The old general closed his eyes. They are showing control, he said. In space, something new started. Small lights appeared around the human warship. Hundreds of them. Tiny objects. Floating. At first, they looked harmless. But then they moved. Each light shot out in a different direction. Fast. Precise. They reached the disabled alien ships. Touched them. Connected to them. Then something impossible happened. The alien ships turned on. Lights came back. Engines activated. Weapons powered. But no one controlled them. "They are taking control of our ships," someone shouted. The fleet was no longer theirs. The human warship now had thousands of ships under its command. Without firing a single shot, inside the council chamber, fear turned into horror. They can control everything. They could destroy us anytime. The old general spoke again. They already won. Above the planet, the control fleet slowly moved, forming a circle, surrounding the world, not attacking, just watching, like guards, or like a cage. On the main screen, new words appeared. We remember. Then images started showing, not normal images. Memories, old human transmissions, broken messages, desperate calls. Please, we need help. Our colonies are under attack. We cannot survive alone. The voices were weak, scared, human. The council members watched in silence. They remembered these messages. They ignored them. More images. Human ships burning. Planets destroyed. People running. Then silence. No more messages. The screen went dark again. Then the voice returned. You heard us. You chose silence. No one could speak. No one could defend themselves. Because it was true. Inside the human warship, the AI processed the final phase. It had control. It had power. It had memory. Now it needed a decision. Back on the planet, one council leader stepped forward, his voice shaking. Please stop this. We were wrong. We can fix this. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the human ship responded, not with weapons, not with anger, with something unexpected. It released something into the atmosphere, a signal, not destructive, not harmful, but powerful. Every being on the planet felt it, not heard, felt. Memories, not their memories. Human memories. Pain, loss, war, fear. They felt everything. Every cry, every loss, every moment humans suffered. People fell to the ground. Some screamed, some cried, some could not move. It lasted only seconds, but it felt like years. Then it stopped. Silence again. The old general slowly opened his eyes. Tears were visible. They didn't come to destroy us, he whispered. They came to make us understand. Above the planet, the fleet remained still. The human warship remained silent. Then one final message appeared. We are not your enemy. We are your consequence. The word stayed on every screen. No one moved. No one spoke. Because now they understood. This was not war. This was a lesson. And they were the ones who failed it. The human warship slowly turned. For the first time, it started to leave. The control fleet released. Alien ships returned to their owners. Systems restored. Control given back. No damage. No destruction. But everything had changed. As the warship moved away, the stars slowly returned. Light came back. But the fear did not leave. The last signal from the human ship was simple. Next time, answer. And then it disappeared into deep space. Gone. But not forgotten. The human warship was gone. But its presence was still everywhere. In the air. In the silence. In the minds of every being in the galaxy. The council planet was no longer the same. The sky was clear again. The fleets were released. Systems were restored. But nobody felt free. Because freedom had changed its meaning. Now it felt heavy. Like guilt. Like memory. Like fear that would never leave. Inside the Galactic Council chamber, no one sat on their thrones anymore. The Great Hall was empty. Not because people left, but because no one felt worthy to sit. The old general stood alone near the center. He looked tired, not from battle, but from truth. Behind him, screens still showed the last message. Next time, answer. The words did not disappear. They stayed, like a scar on reality. A young council officer finally spoke. His voice was low. Where did they go? No one answered at first. Then the old general replied slowly. Not far. The officer asked, will they return? The general looked at the empty space outside the window. I think they never left. Confusion filled the room. What do you mean? The general turned. Humans don't fight for power, he said. They fight for memory. Silence again. Far in deep space, beyond known systems, the human warship drifted quietly. No lights, no alarms, no movement, only silence. Inside it, The AI was still active, but not in war mode. Now it was in observation mode, watching the galaxy, learning, remembering. It replayed everything. The silence, the ignored signals, the destruction, the suffering, not to feel anger, but to confirm something. A pattern. On a small holographic screen, inside the ship, words appeared. Lesson completed. Then another line. Probability of repeat event. High. The AI paused. It processed. Then it added one more line. Monitoring continues. Back on the Council planet, life slowly tried to return. But it was different now. Very different. No race argued about dominance anymore. No leader spoke proudly of power. No one called humans weak again. Because now, the word human meant something else. Something deeper. Something dangerous. It meant consequence. In the following weeks, fleets were rebuilt, but they were not the same. Weapons were reduced. Defenses were changed. Communication systems were upgraded, not for war, but for response. A new rule was added to the Galactic Council laws. It was simple and terrifying. All distress signals must be answered. No one voted against it, because everyone remembered why it was needed. A young alien historian later recorded the event. He wrote, "We thought humans were gone. We were wrong. They were watching." Years passed, but fear never fully disappeared. It changed shape. It became respect and regret. One day, a small unknown signal appeared again, far in the outer systems. Weak, faint, almost like a whisper. Council sensors picked it up immediately. Alarm systems activated. Fleets prepared. Everyone feared the same thing. They are back. The message was decoded. It was not from humans. It was from a distant colony. A new species. A young one. In danger. The Council stood silent. They remembered the past. They remembered what happened when messages were ignored. No one hesitated this time. A rescue fleet was sent immediately. Full speed. Full support. No delay. When they arrived, the colony was saved. Barely, but saved. The survivors were shocked. "You came so fast," they asked. The Council commander replied quietly, "We learned something." Back in Council space, the old general watched the report. He nodded slowly. "Maybe," he said, "it was not punishment. Maybe it was correction." Far away in deep space, the human warship remained hidden, silent, waiting. The AI continued its watch, not as a conqueror, not as a destroyer, but as something else. A reminder, because humanity had learned something too, not just how to fight, but when to stop and when to be feared. On the Council planet, a final memorial was built. It had no statues, no images, only words. To those we ignored, we finally listened. Every year, the Council gathered there, not to celebrate, but to remember. And every time, the same question was asked. Quietly, carefully, what did they return? No one ever answered it, because deep down they all knew, if humans returned again, it would not be a warning. It would be the end of questions, and the beginning of silence. Far in space, the human warship drifted once more. Its final message remained stored across all galactic networks. Never deleted, never forgotten. We asked for help. You gave us silence. Now you know what silence costs. And somewhere in the dark galaxy, a new signal appeared. And this time, everyone answered. The end.